Hey, good evening. Selamat malam. Currently live from Malaysia. My name is Irina. Okay, Irina. So basically, I'm actually a tourist guide and currently, of course, locked down in Kuala Lumpur. And today, I want to share this series of the story is Once Upon a Time. So currently, what am I doing? Can you see that? What is this? This is actually a famous shadow play, which is called Wayang Kulit. So Wayang is, I translated directly, is more on like shadow, okay, and kulit because it's made from the skin, okay. It's usually, of course, not human skin for sure, okay. So in those days when they make this puppet, so it's actually a puppet show. Okay, so they make from variety, and some they using the skin of the animal. So usually like cow skin. That's what normally happen in Malaysia. So today we still have this tradition on this maker. We still have a wayang kulit maker, especially for those born in Kelantan and also in the east coast part of Peninsula Malaysia in Kelantan and also in Terengganu. Okay. But if we know that a little bit history of wayang kulit, basically is not originally be from peninsula of Malaysia. So we have a strong influence come from where? We have a strong influence come from Java. Of course, today we name as Indonesia, okay, from the Java. And also we have a strong influence from Siam. So today we name the country as Thailand. So if you look at the geographical map a little bit, that is we are in the east coast and towards north side, yeah, northeast, okay, northeast side of the peninsula of Malaysia. And for this wayang kulit, basically it reminds me, really reminds me puppet show. Not only just happened in Java, in Siam period, and also today in Malaysia, in our Kelantan, we still have. Even though we can't really do this, as what you call not as popular as before. Okay, the reason the puppet show, especially in Southeast Asia, we have a strong influence come from India. So if I want to touch a little bit history once upon the time, so our puppet show in Southeast Asia have a strong influence from where? It's actually from India. So that's why you will see like many character and the way they dress and the costume, even the name of the characters are actually basically from the Ramayana. Okay, so this is all the stories. They come from sharing with us about moral. Okay, moral, and it's a very strong influence on the Hindu. Okay, especially the Hinduism. So if we study about like I mean in terms of spiritually a little bit, that's normally it tells us more about how to behave ourselves. Yeah, I believe in most of the religion. If we look into it, the real teaching behind is always touch on the keyword which moral, and that's why in Indonesia, especially Java puppet show, they have won the UNESCO Intangible Heritage under the category Intangible Heritage Humanity. So that was way back in 2008. So one of my some of not only just one. In fact, I'm quite lucky because I have a few experiences, meet the maker, and also I have a chance to travel, not only just in Malaysia but also in Java. Okay, when I still remember in Borobudur. Okay, so I'm going to share you a short video, which is one of my awesome experience that everyone thought that I'm going to learn or just going to see the puppet show, but in fact I participated. Yeah. Let's enjoy the video. Have a look at the video. thank you for watching this video, right? So this is one of the best experience for me when I was make a wild guess. You think, where am I? So actually, I went to Borobudur in the central of Java, Indonesia. The reason I visit there is because of every tourist or every traveler, usually when they visit Borobudur, usually only the UNESCO heritage sites. Okay, and what happened was uh, people just visit after the UNESCO site. Maybe you just spend like few hours and you just left. Okay, and this project, in fact, the reason why I was invited and I made myself to stay there for 3 days, 2 nights. So during these 3 days, 2 nights, what happened was not just only stay, but we visit, I think, around 10 villages. In total, they have 52 villages around. So I have a question here. Okay, Lynn, Lynn, hi, Lynn. Welcome to this live. Okay, thanks for joining us. Just now, the puppet show, in fact, was in the center of Java, which is very close. In fact, that house was very, very close to Borobudur. Okay, the Borobudur temple, the historical UNESCO site. Yeah. So what happened was when I was there for 3 days, 2 nights. What is it? You're asking me the what is it called? Okay, what is that place called? Is it in Borobudur, and it's called the Wayang kulit. Others, some of them they might use the word wayang glode. Okay, it depends on the country. Yeah, wayang kulit, or you can call it puppet show also. And in fact, puppet is not just only happen in Indonesia and also in Malaysia. If in fact some puppet not necessarily made by the kulit means the skin. So this is a skin form. Yeah, and some they actually make by wooden. So if you go to Java, you can see some wooden puppet show as well. Okay, and when I was visit there, because we want to promote this culture, okay, the local culture, and these are the local people. They are fascinated about their own culture, and they feel so proud. And usually they not just only very as a farmer, but they're very skillful as well. So most of them are nearby the villages, 52 villages surrounding at the Borobudur. I would say that majority all, okay, are very huge populations are farmers. So besides farming, next what they do, okay, spend their this own leisure time. This is what they do. Either they play some local music. So just now in the video, you watch me like playing that instrument that's called gamelan. So gamelan, it's not just only during the puppet show you will play along with, but in most of the what you call the palace performance in those days. Yeah, those who just like today we like to call it as an orchestra. Okay, so we have like organ, we have like piano, so originally I think all this do re mi fa sol, because when I learned about gamelan I have to learn do re mi fa sol as well. Okay, and interesting is in that puppet experience, when I was visit that house, I thought I'm going to be like most of the puppet demonstrator. They're going to just play the show for us, but I really enjoy is because we allowed to participate. So we have the hands-on experience. That is something I remember. Even though that video was a bit about, like, I would say that now it's 2021 already, because we can't travel for the whole 2020 until now. At this moment, I'm still locked down in Kuala Lumpur. I can't fly for travel purpose. I can't fly. For tourism purpose, I can't fly in Malaysia at the moment. So this was way back in 2016. Yeah, in 2016. So approximately like at least like 4 years ago or 5 years. Yeah, and until today I still remember. Okay, I might not remember all the details, but that's my best experience because I remember the music, and thankfully I capture down the video. You see, so today I can share this experience. So when I learn the music, because sometimes when you visit to watch culture show, if you just being just an audience, so you will like it's very difficult for us to understand what they actually do. But when you participate it, and I like the owner way he is so friendly, and the wife also very friendly. They make all kinds of local dessert for us. I usually serve it, and that reminds me Malaysian way also. If I visit my Malay friends, go to some villages, the same thing will happen. They definitely will serve you tea and together with the local dessert. Okay, and after we having the local dessert and with the tea, and pa is usually like uncle. Usually we like to address somebody in Indonesia, we call pa. But in Malaysia, we will call it like encik, or we can call pa also. Yeah, because most of the Malaysian originality, the Malay community, they are all over. Yeah, they're all over. They come from some Sumatra, some from Java, Sulawesi, and etc. All over. So what happened was, after we've been served the local dessert and the tea, then the next is Pak will say that, oh, if I'm going to tell you how to play this, you will get bored away. So why not today you become my musician? Then we were like, wow, okay, become musician, then gamelan, because we always hear the gamelan, but I never got the chance to play. And that is the moment. You see, that's the moment I like about Pak. He teaches us a very simple song like Do Re Mi, So you just have to look at the number 1, 2, 3. So long you understand the 1, 2, 3. So in the gamelan, in the traditional instrument, they will place the number. So you just follow the number and you just keep hitting. And then Pak will be playing right in front. And of course, sometimes the Javanese language we cannot understand, but it's not important. Important is because the music, and you see they play, with a flexible hand, and then they do the movement, okay? And then you feel like, oh, you are actually involving, okay? So when you involving, and after that, although it's just like 5 minutes, 5 minutes, but we practice quite a number of times. And after that, what will happen, like after the 5 minutes, and you feel great because it's like, wow, you actually help Pak to play the music, and then he can do a short performance. Yeah. So that kind of satisfaction, I don't know how to describe you. So I think ever since it started to create me the interest. Although before that, I seen a puppet show before, because in Malaysia we have to, and we usually think that traditional or something like old-fashioned, and sometimes the language we don't understand, and then it drives us away, that we don't show the interest we want to continue, or we want to create the interest to further discover, or want you like to explore more. See, so what happened was, after that 5 minutes and we able to perform it out, we feel so great. And then I started to pick up some reading, okay, reading on what is puppet and how does it start. And then I think ever since, I think after I returning back, I do some study, and I start to search around in Malaysia, also in Peninsula of Malaysia, especially in Kelantan. And I discover interesting, because in 1990s onwards, it's not easy that we have our puppet show to play, just like any occasion. So sometimes we can play, if you put as a cultural, as a cultural approach, it's fine. Because as I mentioned earlier, Ramayana is more on Hinduism, morality story. Okay, so as you know that Malaysian today, majority, and in fact Malay, are Muslim. Okay, so in some part of the reason that when we talk too much, or we say too much, on others, like Hinduism, morality story, and so on, it's not that appropriate. Yeah, it's not that appropriate. Yeah, but if you look at as a culture perspective, it's fine. Definitely, it's okay. And this is also one of the reasons that Indonesia, I find Indonesian are very fascinating. Is, to me, I call it the heart is so big, because they accept. And then if you look at Borobudur, it's Buddhism. It's a Buddhism holy site. It's a holy places for Buddhists. Yeah, but you are living by the 52 villages. These are villages. They are, I would like to say that thousands of Muslims are surrounding, but they taking care. See, they do take care of this piece of land. That is amazing. And when you look at the local culture, it's interesting also, because the local culture is so mixed. Yeah, from this puppet show, of course today we can also input, some stories. So if you love storytelling, see, not necessarily just read from the books, So storytellers, they have many types. So for me, Tok Dalang, okay, in Malaysia we call it Tok Dalang. Those who must know how to play the shadow, for the shadow play. and also those who can actually share you the story behind, not only just play the shadow, but stories behind. Yeah. So sometimes you look at the character, like today I show you this character. Well, this actually made from one of my Chinese friend. Interesting, right? As you know that Malaysia is, I would say that we are multi-racial also, and we have multi-religion too. Yeah. And because of my this Chinese friend, he lived in Kelantan, and from young he was live in the village, and that's how he got the strong influence. Yeah? So from young to them, watching the puppet show is something very common. Just remind me when I was young, I got the chance to stay with my grandparents, and I still remember my village is we have an opera show. Okay, so once a year, it's like a best time for us. Not because of just sometimes we don't understand the opera show. What does it then mean? You know, seriously. But you just enjoy the character. You can see like if a bad guy is a bad character, the face, you can see the makeup, you can see the way they carry the weapon. You know, that's tell you this must be the bad guy. And the behavior, even the vocal, the sounds. You know, and usually they turn into violence. Yeah, same thing as puppet show. Okay, in the puppet show, when I watch a few, you can see if it's a prince, if it's a king, if it's a good guidance. Usually they looks, the way they dress up themselves, like a little bit luxury, and the way the tone they speak also like very royal. But if you are the bad guy, usually the sounds are very fierce or very loud, or something like, you know, or they like to make the smile. It's like hee, you know, that kind of like cunning, you know, that is a super. So sometimes you don't understand the contents, like the language. It doesn't matter. It's just like you watch like the movie, okay, like watch the show. Then you're still able to figuring out. Usually it's like the love story. Okay, somebody fall in love, or somebody got jealous, that's why they fight over the love, you know, or because of like sometimes it's some spread the virus, you know, like now, you know, COVID-19 is talking about every day. The stories about is about virus, you know, like sad story, and what's going on, you know, the hair wire of the society. Same thing. So when those days, if they want to send a message, or sometimes the royal family, they want to communicating with their publics, you know, with the civilians, this is what they do. They have to use some sort of entertainment, then make it into a drama and spread the news around. Okay, so that's how. So back to my friend. So my this friend is interesting is because I think he stayed in the kampong, which is the village, and puppet show to them is very common, and that's one of the reason today, until when he grow up, he picking this as his hobby. So he don't really making the puppet shadow as like earn the living, but it's more on like art, you know. But who knows? You see, who knows? Yeah, who knows that because of this art, and it will turn it into supporting on, you know, like a part-time income, or some sort of like a livelihood, you know, to support. Yeah. And interesting also, that's why one of the fascinating to me in Malaysia is I always love Kelantan. Just like I enjoy go to Indonesia. I quite like, I mean, I personally I like Java, because they have a strong historical background, the historical value background. And same thing as in Kelantan, you will see people are so mixed. Yeah, doesn't matter what religion you are, even though you are Chinese descendants there. Okay, then you not just only speak Chinese, but they can speak the local language and even pick up, you know, the culture. You see, even pick up like this puppet show art also. Yeah, and the interesting also like they have actually formed. In fact, maybe after the pandemic over, maybe we can invite, you know, them, you know, to do a live with us. Yeah, that's interesting. Chinese, Malay, or anybody. So the story behind, I mean, the message behind today, I want to share to all of you is, you know, sometimes we have to love the culture. I use the word we have to love the culture, you see, because if you travel and you don't enjoy culture and you just want to watch the scenery, I think maybe like 30 minutes is already enough for you for the scenery. Okay. But if you love the culture and you want to discover more and you can participate it, I think it's going to be great. So you can actually make your relationship closer, to the local people. Yeah. I think currently this is what all we miss about, yeah. Okay, what we miss about is um can't travel, and we miss the personal touch, the communicating, you know. Yeah, sometimes we still can watch a bit YouTube. Like today, I do a little bit live, for half an hour. I'm not going to do too long, but just only the half an hour. But I would like to keep it, this is our regular, if we can, we make it as a culture. So if every week I'm going to show up myself for half an hour and share you some my travel experiences, and I think that's going to be great. So since what we can't travel today, but doesn't mean we can't travel tomorrow, right? And especially now, everybody and every country, and hopefully all the vaccine developing countries, those who can develop the vaccine, the countries are showing they're generous enough to keep, helping the rest that was so difficult to get vaccine, and then we can reach the vaccine equality. Then I think travel is not something far away from now. Yeah. So just like the puppet. Yeah. So luckily my friend gave me this puppet. So even though I do not know like how to play the puppet, but at least I can make some movement and I play with myself sometimes. And it's like a memory also. It's like a memory, reminds me when I travel, because of their passion, and make me always thinking of them. And today I feel like we have a social media platform. We try to do our very best, don't just try, but do our very best to spread, some positive vibe to everybody, share your good experiences possible to everybody, using the social media platform in the purposeful way, yeah. And just like this character, to be honest, the interesting about puppet today, because now we want the younger generation to draw some attention. In fact, I've discovered, like Pak Dain, okay, Pak Dain in Kelantan, they even started to do some transformation. I hope Pak Dain is still doing well now, okay? Because in the pandemic, we do not know what's going on and what happened, yeah? But they came out the Marvel's character. Oh, Marvel's character, yeah? So don't be surprised you see Iron Man, in the Wayang Kulit, in the puppet shadow show also, yeah. So I think it's just more on like a message, it's more like a form of how we interacting with the people, yeah. Instead of just a comics, put it in the books, or we can transform into the movie. But I think puppet drama show is also something great, because in those days we don't have electricity, of course. So you just have fire, some lamplight, and then you can straight away play the puppet show already. Uh, and then I think this is great also, because when you um, not just know the story, but you know how to make the puppet, and in fact, it will make you how to say, appreciate the arts. Okay, so sometimes I think the appreciation, okay, the word appreciation, it has to come from the involvement. So when we involve, even like just now, I say I play the gamelan. I don't know how to play much, but by this experience in Java for the gamelan, and then when I come back, my friend give me this puppet, this Pak. I'm going to name him as Pak Nana, because my name is Irina, right? So Pak Nana. Because I tried to search around, seriously, I cannot find this character. I don't know from where. So sometimes you see the word transformation, because over the decades, because if you look at the history, puppet show come to Southeast Asia is way back before the 10th century. Oh my God, 10th century. And today we are already in 21st century. See? So there was a long, long time. It's not easy to keep all the characters. And along the way, maybe the inspiration, the inspiration. I think my inspiration on all this heritage, art, history, I have to thanks to who? One of my mentor, okay, Pak Siri Ningboa, but he has already passed away, okay, in 2017. He already passed away, Actually, he's the one who introduced me because he brought me to Kelantan. I mean, I've been to Kelantan, of course, but I never walked into the village. I never really go closer with the people. So I think the next thing is when we start the tourism back, if we can travel, I hope like every traveler and every tourist, don't just focus on destination. Just go to the big city, but sometimes it's we can do a little bit adventure and do a little bit further exploration to find out the local lifestyles. Dig it out the arts. Dig it out. Their traditional practices in those days, their lifestyle. The traditional lifestyle, because this is so precious, and I think you're going to learn a lot. From the character and also the indigenous, the knowledge. Some simple story behind to teach people how to be human. So for me, restart tourism is all about, of course, we must stay good health and stay safe. That is for sure. And also, I think the humanness. That's why Wayang Kulit being inscribed and get the status as intangible cultural, this UNESCO intangible cultural heritage on the category humanity. I think I think humans sometimes we, being so stressed and being so tense, and we just forgot to how to be a quality man, in the planet. That's why I sometimes, I really enjoy, going back to the history a little bit, uh, try to dig it up some historical stories. These are all the great moral story to teach us, on how to be a great human. See? So even though sometimes these characters are bad character, they are fighting, but I believe these are all the true story. I believe, seriously, until today I still believe. And human never learn mistakes. That is common. You see, but that's the reason why we're traveling, why we want to explore more, why we want to learn from others, why we want to get to know like others culture, visit others people country. Why you want to do that? I think it's very important. Is we want to learn, even though sometimes we know these are the mistakes, some bad stories, but importantly is the moral story behind the message. We know this is bad, then we try to avoid it. Yeah. So those days, the education, not everyone is so lucky you can go to the school. So I think by watching the opera or watching the wooden puppet or even the wayang kulit, I think in Vietnam, if you visit Vietnam, you can see their puppet show also. It's interesting as well, and they have many stories. Just like I went to Luang Prabang in Laos, some people will just sharing some Laotian stories, with some traditional instrument. They already make a great story. But why people enjoy it? Why we enjoy it? Why we take it as a great entertainment? Yeah, because we all love stories. So I hope you enjoyed the short session today with me, and hopefully that very soon, yeah, very near future, that every Friday, okay, every Friday 8:30, every Friday 8:30, I will pick up one story to share with you. Once upon a time. Okay, I enjoyed, and everyone stay safe, stay good health, and looking forward to see you on every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Once upon a time. Bye. Bye.
Bang.
It's together.